Chelsea's here checking out what happened, and the other Chelsea's here filming.
Hey, you've been hustling, dude.
The back's like done, and we like painted it, and now we're gonna get everything in the front okay, and then I'll try and start it tonight or maybe tomorrow.
Got it.
It's just, yeah. I think it turned out better than it was before, but yeah, I guess I like took this to get me to do all this work, you know?
You can put shear pins here too.
Oh, that would be cool.
So if you get a hard hit, it
just rips it off.
It just comes off.
Okay.
And then you like probably save this quite a bit more.
I made 2 of those so I can like,
hell yeah,
I guess just have a smash bar instead of a bash bar. So I'm like, oh, throw it away. Hey guys, so still got front end stuff to do. The back is pretty close. Radiator's in. The duct work for the top part's in. The duct work for the bottom part's in. It's much more simple now, but this is what kind of blocks the hot air, and then we have a shield down here if you can see it. This also blocks hot air from directly going onto the fuel cell. Obviously it's hot air next to the cell, it's separated, but it'll be better than nothing. Oh, excuse me. We modified this guy to come up higher, and now when the window's there and we cut a hole, this will just sit stationary and it's out of the way of crumple zone. Still has a tiny flex section here, but realistically if you crash hard enough to hit this and that stuff is happening, just like my last crash. So for right now we're really excited to show you guys this because that's a new feature, so they don't have to open the hatch. We had the Cybon carbon hatch, we had to cut it, but we mounted spots for OEM wing, so I can have at least have a wing. These are where the hood pins go, and then we removed some of the underlining on the bottom side, and then all the rest of the back is done. The sway bar's on. We got new parts from Herman over at Hartman. We're gonna take this spoiler, get it painted. This is a backup bumper from 2016, I think. Never used it. We're gonna peel that vinyl off, get it painted. This is a new rear plug. We're gonna trim it all out to like how we do, and then we'll use this for a backup. We're gonna run the one that we had fixed and just blow it up again if we bump the wall, because we just patched a bunch of little pieces of fiberglass, or where the broken fiberglass, we put a bunch of little like 2-inch squares of aluminum and riveted the fiberglass back together. So that's just, yeah, saves money because I don't want to have to get another one of those. So we have 2 bash bars and 2 back pieces now. One of the fenders has a little, both of them had a little crack here, but one was missing a chunk. Herman at Hartman is gonna like patch that part. We'll take it back to JP over at JV Auto Body and he'll repaint it so we could run the same fenders. It's just because we know we're gonna touch the wall again a bunch of times, so it's just better this way. This bumper is not horrible, but it has a hole there, so I don't think I can run that one. That's last year's bumper, or one of last year's bumpers. Seems like I go through bumpers a lot. This stuff all just got retired. It's retired now. Maybe gonna go on the wall or something like that. Like that guy's retired. Retired bumper section. All right, guys. I'll show you some updates in a little bit. We gotta work on the hood and stuff. All right, guys. So, been working on this little piece for a couple hours. Maybe 1 hour, but that's gonna go there.
Can you grab a gun?
I'm not gonna install it yet until take the hood to get painted. We're gonna leave some of it carbon, some of it painted. We gotta take off these hood pins. This is last year's fender. We're gonna take that off. And then we are going to put that back piece on. We cut it up a little bit, trimmed it at least. We're gonna trim the front, make sure it lines up with all our tabs and pieces and through bolts into here, and then take it over to JV Auto Body. But the back looks really aggressive and mean, and we like it. Another cool thing that happened today was we got these Muteki 2-piece SR45 lug nuts. It's really cool. We're gonna put those on in a second, and then they're taking off all the front stuff so they can paint it. Like, we're painting some of it black, some of it the gray, but everything's coming together. Once everything's painted, we can reinstall the front end stuff and then start it. I don't know that would happen tonight, or maybe it happens some point tomorrow, but we start it and then we can test to see if we have any issues. I'd like to do that before too many days go by, because there's something I gotta work on that I didn't realize, or something's not working with the fuel system, because like I was telling you, we smashed the cell so hard it dislodged one of the fuel pumps in there, and it stopped working just at idle, which is really weird. But also, when you wreck really hard, I guess anything could happen. So that's that. What else did we do? Just lots of little details. We made all the tabs in front that are gonna hold the intercooler, like this guy. So we're gonna take out the oil cooler so we can paint that, and then Joe welded these so we can paint that. Oh, you didn't even have to take that GoPro mount off?
Nope. Welded right through.
Just right on the edge. Cool.
Yeah,
once all that's painted, then we could put the wiring back in and install everything, connect all the hoses and start it. That might be tomorrow though. Okay, so we're gonna get to that. Hey guys, it's been a long year so far. We're only like 4 months in. I'm gonna sleep like some other time, not anytime in the near future. So front end is being painted. We got it happy. We were able to save this bar. We just added that little guy, cut frame rails, new tow hooks from a different Supra front end I had, like a front cut that's in the back, and then bash bar comes off of that. We made a new chin bar that's removable. We painted that part black, the bash bar black, and then that front little headlight section and the headlights go in there, and that's it. Ooh, Vichesla, paint this too.
Oh, okay.
Vicha's painting that real quick. We finished the back. We've already showed you guys that. Mike Perez had stayed for a couple days to help us after Long Beach. It's like, he was a huge help. It wouldn't have been possible probably to get this far without him. Did a bunch of stuff. Vicha and Joe did a bunch of stuff, and Anthony came by one day, and Nate from Bink Industries got us those plates. So got a lot of help, and it's only been, tomorrow will be 1 week, and the car's pretty much back together. We're just waiting on a couple of things like paint, and then Renee has to vinyl, and a little bit of body panel still from Herman. He's fixing the one that we wrecked. Both sides on that side, he's just gonna repair, and then we don't have to use whole new panels, because it's a lot of money. All right guys, that's it for today. Hey guys, so today, hood, hatch, all the body panels that need to get paint, except 2 that we're waiting on Herman for, which are the ones that were in the accident, which need repair from like here, and on the back one, about the back 6 inches. Somehow, since it's such good flex resin, it didn't really crack that much stuff off or ruin that much. Everything just kind of moved and then moved back when we took it off. Those we're waiting for Herman to repair, and then we'll just kind of paint the little repaired edges, and a front bumper. So everything else is at paint. We're gonna assemble all the coolers and put everything back together, and the bash bar in the front, after we get the trailer ready, and then me and Vicha will start this and maybe make sure everything's working. Alright guys, everything's working, it's running. We had to bleed the coolant system again, and then one of the fuel pump wiring was actually up having to put a new connector from another radium cell that we had, radium drop-in surge tank, and now it's working. So it must have been dislodged in the accident, or who knows, but we had an issue, so now we're gonna go test it. Everything seems to be working right, so we're excited. It's been a long time coming, but we got it going. So hopefully Vito will do a little video for you guys. Alright guys, so we drove the car, it's working. I gotta take the transmission out though to check a synchro, or no, dog ring. It felt like it was, I don't know, it just needs to be looked at. The transmission's messed up a little bit right now I think. But we got the parts from Samsonov, so we'll do that tomorrow. But otherwise the car's running, working, everything back there feels lighter, but we gotta probably redo the alignment to get more grip now, because I think it's just lighter back here. Felt a little different. All right, well, we're gonna go today from the shop right now. I'm gonna head over to go watch Motegi Super Drift, so that should be fun. See Dylan and a couple other guys drifting. All right, guys, we just got to Long Beach. We parked pretty far away. Now we're gonna go.
You want your sweatshirt?
Yeah, we're gonna go walk over there to watch some drifting. But look at what we parked next to. It's pretty cool. MR2 with 94 taillights. Cool. Alright, we're gonna walk over there now.
Look what this guy found. Of course.
It's like, so now we just got to a concert basically. What is going on? The Motegi Super Drift was cool, but we had to go home. Now we're gonna go get some ice cream and then call it a night. Alright guys.
Hey, wait. How many hot dogs have you had tonight?
Just a couple. Hey guys, so it's Sunday. Yesterday we went to Motegi, watched a little bit of drifting. The battery died on the camera, so tried to film with the iPhone. We'll see how it turns out. But today we are going to take apart the Samsonov. I had taken it apart previously to Long Beach, knew that it had a bad shift fork, but barely a bad shift fork. It just had opened up on, like, see where it's let's get it to focus, where, oh, like where the slider rides inside there, it had opened up the smallest amount, where instead of it being like a perfect, you know, half like a C shape around it, it was like opening it up. Instead of being like that, it was opening up that way. So then I'm hoping it's something simple like that, or maybe one of these bent. And then I had the drop gears that the main shaft and the lower shaft ride on had just seen a lot of wear. And then besides that, the inside of the transmission looked pretty good, so I knew I could run it one more round, or if not more. I didn't know how many. It just didn't feel like, it didn't look like it would break from the looks of it. And the reason I'm just saying that is because I've taken apart many GSR dog boxes and rebuilt them and you know what, the gears are literally identical to this of the Samsonas. They look very similar, just straight cut gears, and you can tell when there's been heat and wear on certain things. So I don't know, I drove it yesterday after we got everything back together. The car feels a lot different, probably because it's lighter in the back now than it ever has been before. So now my weight balance is probably thrown off from how we had set the springs and shocks. So gonna have to adjust that. We'll figure that out. It's just, that's just like settings. But something else that was like not something that didn't feel right was when I go to downshift, it would just, you would hit the selector to push it down, you know, like this is up, this is down. So I would go down and it wasn't going down, it was just nothing. It would like make the movement, but there would be nothing there, like just kind of feel like numb and just and move back. So that's not a good sign. I don't know the answer to that till we take apart the transmission. So we're gonna drain the transmission, drop it, take it out, see if we can find something noticeably wrong with it. I'm hoping it's something like that's just right there in our face, like, oh, this dog ring is like stripped down, or, which that's weird because I never heard any like grinding or popping, but maybe I was like in it full throttle when I hit the wall and it yanked something and there was tension and everything shifted a little bit. That's kind of my thought, I don't know. So let's take it apart and find out. So we got all this stuff, we got to move out of the way because I need this space right here to do my work. So I'm gonna move some stuff around and then start getting the transmission out. All right, trans is out. Here's that really cool adapter we got from Collins. It'll focus. Maybe we have to wait till we're older. Oh, we're older now and I focus, yay. Okay, so there's the back of the motor. It's really cool that we can do this and leave our hydraulic release bearing still inside there, so we don't have to like bleed or anything. We just undo, boom, motor's out, or trans is out, I mean, motor's in, everything's connected. So I might have figured out why we drain the fluid. There's a little metallic sparkles in there, which is something you don't want to see. But so the motor, once it hit the wall hard enough, it shifted it just enough forward that here on the shift linkage, there was now tension, like it was like kind of holding the shifter slightly, just ever so slightly. But what you would want ideally for everything to work how it needs to work is this, see how this has adjustment, is exactly the right length for the movement that the shifter allows. And so when everything's installed, you put this up to connect to the bottom of the lever of the Samsonas, and the through bolt would just fall right through. No tension, you don't have to like pull this a little bit, because if you pull it a little bit, it's like started engagement, or push it a little bit. So our case was the motor, when it hit, it pivoted sideways the littlest bit because I hit the wall so hard. Even though it's hard mounted and everything, it moved the subframe, let's say 1/8 of it. Let me just show you. See where the subframe used to go? And it slid forward that little bit there. So, because of that, it's probably an 1/8 inch. That's how far off it was misaligned. It wasn't liking to downshift on the transmission because the through bolt right there is talking about. So, with that said, we're gonna take it apart, try the new drop gears that we got, and then try the new synchro and the shift fork. That'll help. But I think the main thing was what I just described to you guys. It's very relieving, but actually, we don't know yet. It seems like it could be relieving. I'm just trying to be optimistic, because if this doesn't work out, in order for me to get the parts, that's like almost impossible to get them within like 5 days, have it together, and then head to Florida. I mean, we'll try our best. Whoa. Yeah, it pushed everything. Look, this is press fit in there. It pushed it back. It like repressed it out. That's freaking crazy. Okay, I gotta get to work. That slid back. That's supposed to be centered in here. It's supposed to be like up to here. That's where the black should like kind of meet where my fingernail is, so we need to get it forward. Well, got a lot of work, guys. Let's make this happen. Hey guys, okay, so main bolts are all out, which allows us to take the front, the back off, just leaving this main cylinder with all the gears inside. I kind of showed you this a couple months back. We're here again, part of having a race car. Endless, endless, endless work. Lots of adrenaline, but lots of work. So, I'm gonna video, or maybe Vichesla will video, as I pull this apart. Can you do this? Okay, so he's gonna video, and then I take it all apart. It's gonna get messy. We are prepared for the mess. Okay, so these are the two parts we want to change. This one and this one is a drop gear. Doesn't look any more messed up than it was. Most likely, please just be that the motor shifted and everything was like that. We don't actually want to go through the whole hassle of a blown up gear, but we don't know yet till we see the third gear. There is a lot of metal flake in there, which is something we've never seen before. It's so odd how it just floats in this cylinder. Okay. Here, put it on this trusty t-shirt. Lower it down.
And say a prayer.
We're looking for issues in either the gears or the dog rings or shift fork, but so is it focused on it? The reason we are not happy with this drop gear is you can see like it's kind of like little scrapes going this way. It's not, that's just heat. That's the sign of heat. So then like come over here to this next gear, does not have those. So we don't need to worry about this one. We worry about this one because that's the heat marks are gonna make it brittle, and then one of the times you're not thinking about it, you're just flooring it, shift to the next gear, and a chunk of that comes off and then ruins your transmission. So there's no chunks. I don't see any. I haven't seen everything because I only spun it the one time around probably, but gear wise we look okay. Dog ring wise looks fine. There's no chunks missing. So really shift linkage is our main thing. So let's say the motor stays shifted and we can't adjust everything and the car bent enough that it has to stay where it was. We hope that that's not the case, but if it is the case, this has adjustment in it. We just make it longer.
How's everything on here?
And then we go drifting. This? This is the other side of the drop gear. That needs to be changed. We just hope that they gave us the right part numbers. The other thing we do is we'd spin this, looking for all the, because when we spin this one, we can look at the engagement dogs that are built into the gear. When we spin this, we can look at the sliders, or some people call them dog rings only, or sliders. They do slide from this one to that one, so it would make sense to call it a slider. I don't see any chunks. There's nothing wrong with it anyway. This shift fork, again, is the reason we need to change it. So like, look at come look at this. We had to just run it. See how much movement there is in that fork? Then you come over to this fork. There's movement, but there's less. Like you can see this one started to open up. It's ever so slightly. You would have to put a feeler gauge, feel how much gap that one is, and then this one. But I'd say it has like another half again as much gap, which will make for crappy shifts between second and third. This is second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear. This is first gear. So first gear, just gets you going. The most drifting happens on these 3 gears. Second, third, and well, third and fourth. Second, you don't really drift in that too often. Well, in my case, certain people drift in second all the time, but on a pro car, you're on a higher speed course. Third gear has wear marks, so does fourth gear. It's minimal. We're gonna just have to run with it because we can't afford to replace all those right now. But once you have like big money sponsor stuff, you just have 2 of these and parts, spare parts. We're not there yet.
What goes on in there?
This, it just rides right here, and it tells you, like this tells you what gear. So that this, what you're looking at, is what does the shifting. So every time you push forward or backward, it'll pivot this just enough, and then there's different step overs in this at different places. And so you hit it, and then it'll go, and it'll move a shift fork over, and then you're in second gear, third gear, and it just, this is spinning.
That's what makes it sequential?
Yeah. All this takes up for the H pattern of a normal box. It just happens on this rail here. It's way simple when you break down a dog box transmission or even a sequential. It's like kind of crazy that that's how they go, but
that moves a lot even.
This, of course this moves a lot, but not once it's sealed together in its barrel.
Okay.
Because the front of that rides in there. Well, you're probably asking questions that some people are wishing they could ask, but now they just got the answer. This is a magnet, and it grabs all the bad news.
Ooh.
That's the bad news area. But when you're looking, okay, so you're gonna expect wear, like you guys saw the metallic flakes, but what you really don't want to see is large chunks.
That's what I was looking at. Are they bubbles?
Down in there, that's a chunk, like a little, that's little. So when I said this before, but I'll say it again, when I used to rebuild the GSR, you would literally have huge shavings, like that are like, let's say ½ inch long, which is like, what you were actually getting is the corner edge of the dog ring. You get a piece of metal that long, but just like it sheared a little bit of the corner off. And like it would just, you drain your drain plug, there'd just be chunks falling out, and you're like, no. And so it's like, you only, maybe let's say you get 20 times to run that transmission at like super hard driving, and then you know it's time to replace some rings.
So what do you do for preventative? Just use good oil?
Good oil, and if you had the money, a pump and a cooler, but we don't have a pump because like inside of here, this has a little like a spray, like a fire system spray thing, but it's for oil, and it would just spray it, and you feed it and feed it, or you like feed it and return it back to a pump, and then from that you can run an inline cool, like a cooler. Maybe one day we'll have all that, but for right now, we're just barely hanging on to what we can do. So maybe next year, guys. Well, we gotta go. We'll talk to you soon. All right, guys. So we got the drop gear on the lower shaft in already and done. Now we're working on the second one, which goes on the upper shaft, which is the main shaft of the transmission. I'm putting this last clip on. It's not that hard of a job, but it's also, it would be scary if you've never done this before and you're trying to just guess what's next or what to do. Okay, so brand new gear, no marks, nothing. The old gear is just time. So this has a year and practice days on it. This is brand new. The reason these ones are seeing so much wear, here's the old one, still works, but the reason these are seeing so much wear is because on the drop gear, it's engaged at all times. So when, let's say I drove in third gear the most, then that gear is gonna see the most heat. Oh, this would be third gear. But when certain transmissions don't have a drop gear that they're always touching, they have like, it's like when you engage it, those are the ones like taking the heat and the wear. So with this said, it's like, this is constantly going the entire time. So these two gears are always seeing a lot of heat because that's what connects the lower shaft, which selects the gear for you. But some of them just have a bearing where it'll ride in the front, like it's just riding in a bearing, like a GSR has that. There's no extra gear, it just rides in a bearing in the front of the housing. And so then you would wear a bearing out, not a gear. But then by having this, you could change your drop gear and change every gear ratio without changing your actual gears. So there's a plus and a minus to having this. And then the way to solve the wear issue on that would be to engage your little like spray system from having an oil pump, but I was not able to retrofit one in yet, and they don't sell it with a built-in oil pump option yet. They probably will, because they're gonna get feedback from people like myself and other drivers that are wearing out the part, and then they're gonna try and improve, just like how Winter's quick change, you know, people were breaking lower shafts and breaking stub axles, and then parts keep getting upgraded, and now you probably don't break that, you'll break something else. Like maybe your transmission. Okay, so just wanted to show you the in-between steps. I'm gonna put this back in, press it in, put these collars back in place. That'll hold it down so it stays put. Then we'll put this bearing back on here, slap this all back together, because this rides in here. Put it all back together, put it back in, and then work on adjusting the subframe and extending my shift linkage if that's what it takes, because we need this to work right, and then we'll go test it again. And if everything works good, then we can sleep well tonight. Alright guys, so behind the scenes over here, we have a small Renee, and she is getting the Supra ready for battle.
Dressing Supras.
Yep. Hola. Hola, hola, hola. He needs to get ready for battle, so Renee is making him look pretty. Hopefully he doesn't do what I do. Just takes it down a notch and he doesn't rip anything apart. But that's what's happening right now while we do the transmission. Alright guys, all back together. We're gonna add some fluid in here and then we're gonna throw it inside. So I'm gonna go grab some Torco 75 140 and we're gonna put it in here, and then we're gonna lift this up, put it in, and see if we have to adjust the linkage right here. If we do, then we might have to take it back out because it's really hard to get to this jam nut. Perhaps I can just adjust this and spin it out once on that and we'll be good to go. So that might be what we get to do, and then we will put everything else back in, and then we'll go drive it. Okay, so we're gonna grab the transmission and try and get it to go in first try. Hope everything goes well. Let's set this camera up so you guys can watch what we do. Alright guys, all back together. We're gonna go drive it now, see if it does what we want. I think it will. We just had to figure out what was wrong and make everything, you know, happy where it needs to be. The inside of the transmission, luckily it looked good and we were able to switch out those drop gears like we wanted. Then the shift linkage, I ended up we moved the motor back a hair, moved the subframe back a hair. Kind of everything shifted a little bit. Didn't get us where we, got some crap on my face. Didn't get us exactly where we wanted to be. It it was maybe a millimeter out of place. So then we spun one turn on the little heim that's on the shift linkage, and then everything felt smooth and that through bolt went through nice, everything feels good. But now the true test is when we go drive it, as long as it downshifts and upshifts correctly, then we'll be happy. I can't be sure until I drive it, so let's go do that right now.
Nice! So clean! Woo!
Ready for Florida? I think the Supra just said it was. You can hear it, right? It said, I'm ready! Okay, now Renee's gonna do a burnout for us. I told you I was sorry, Supra, but now I fixed you with the help of everyone. So, you're good again, buddy. Check out how cool all this stuff looks. Jeez! Such a crazy machine. So much effort and love goes into that machine. Well, alright, now the final little details, putting it back together, bodywork, Renee's expertise on the final, and JV Auto Body on the paint, and then we will look pretty again for Florida and make our debut for the East Coast with the new Saibon hood and hatch. So, alright guys. Me and Vicha figured out a bunch of stuff. So the confusion about Vicha or Vichesla, Vicha is just short for Vichesla.
Vicheslav.
Okay, wait, say it one more time.
Vicheslav.
With,
In the English, Vicheslav.
yeah, it's, for you guys from Czech Republic, it's easy. For us, not so easy. I'm trying here.
I'm from Czech Republic and I want to run industries because that is a good guy.
He's one funny guy. Okay, so me and him did a little bit of Sunday fun day stuff here, got it going. Now we're happy with the driveline, the motor, and the workings of all the systems. It's working. So, once again, we're gonna have Tanner from OC Mobile Alignment come over here and do some magic stuff this week with all his equipment, and we're gonna get it set. The car's lighter in the back, so we're gonna put more grip in the back, and I might even change the rear spring rate. We'll see. All right, guys, so JP just called me and said the hood's done, so I'm gonna go pick up the hood. We get to see what it looks like with just a tint of blue over, clear coat blue and sparkle on the Saibon carbon fiber. Whoa, we're here. Wow. Wow. This is crazy. Oh my gosh. What has JP done? What have you done, JP? It's like 5 colors in one. But I am kind of colorblind, but tell me this doesn't look cool. Whoa. I don't even know what color it is. Some mix between blue, purple, and black and something else. Whoa, it's cool. There he is. Hey, what? I'm colorblind, but there's like 5 different colors when you look at it. It's cool. Dang, and it's all smooth too. Oh crap. This turned out really good. What do you guys think? Alright guys, so we left the other parts there with JP. He gave us the hood and the hatch because that one he painted a little differently, where it's just kind of like the mist of the blue clear over it with sparkle. So now he's gonna paint the other stuff like the all blue with the sparkle. So he just knocked those 2 out first, bring them back to the shop, check it out, and then we go from there. We're pretty excited about how it's gonna look. Can't wait to show Renee and the other guys. All right, now head back to the shop, get everything ready to go to the track tomorrow. So, change of plans, going to Willow now. So, we're warming up the Supra right now. Once I get it warm, then I'm gonna do a compression test, double check how everything's going, and then we're gonna take off this fender, the doors, and other little stuff that's in the way, like the shocks for the rear hatch. We're gonna take it all apart so that I can go drive it with nothing on there, and then we'll put it back together. I'm gonna work on a new dip vent right now, and then that's the last mechanical thing, and compression check, and then we're pretty much ready to go test tomorrow. And then after the test, we'll bring it back, put everything back together. Should have the panels back by, like, let's say Wednesday, Thursday, and then long couple days, then we're gonna leave for Florida on Saturday. But tomorrow should be fun at the track. We get to drive with a couple other people that you guys know, a couple other, well, I don't know if everyone will show up, but some pro drivers, some YouTubers, and then some Pro-Am drivers. It'll be fun. All right, gonna get to this right now. It's gonna be the coolest video with no body panels on. Just the craziest machine doing what it does. Woo! What are you doing in here, Renee?
Building stuff.
Renee builds stuff too, you guys. So if you want to have just a small piece of rad with you, get one of these stickers that Renee's building.
We're still able to do them in-house so far, so.
We try and do everything ourselves in-house, and then when we can't, we do little things outside of the shop. But most of it happens here. Ooh, Renee's wearing a rad shirt.
Check them out.
Okay, I gotta go work on Supra. I got a smaller. We'll see.
Hey.
No.
That's from my coilover.
Alan.
It's like an adjuster.
You need a smaller one?
Yeah.
Than that? Yeah, we do. But wait, let me finish this real quick. Alright guys, so we are gonna switch to a 6K rear spring from a 7 because we lost some weight back here. But not only that, we're trying to make it so the grip that does come in when you get back on throttle is smoother, so it's easier to follow instead of having so much forward bite. So we're switching that. We took all the panels off. We did a compression check, changed spark plugs with some new NGK iridiums, and looks like we're good to go. We already changed the oil and the gear oil with new Torco fluids, SR5R for the engine and SGO for the other gear oil. We are gonna do the last minute touches. Oh, so this bash bar doesn't pass tech. I thought it did, but then I talked to Kevin directly, and he wants another connecting point, but I don't want it to be solid mounted into that structure. So we're gonna do more of these plates, and we'll do a plate with you know, through bolted on with this guy right here. I know that adds like another whatever 8 pounds of weight total on the car, because these probably weigh like 2 pounds, maybe 5 more pounds to the back of the car. But I would rather do that than have some weird connecting thing or final welded in here. He doesn't mind that it's through bolted like this way, but he doesn't want it to just pivot. He's like, yeah, it's okay if there's some pivot if you have 4, but the whole idea is that it's not just like a pendulum. And he tried to tell me that it was gonna hit the wheel. He wasn't here in person, it was just pictures, but it would never be able to hit the wheel no matter how hard I tried, unless I crush this. But I get that he has rules and we need to follow them, so I'm gonna just fix it to make sure I pass tech. It's not a big deal, like just a bash bar. So we're gonna do that today. Joe's just getting started on it. We're gonna still use mild steel so that it bends easier and it's less weight. We're just gonna connect with a little arm into here, and then with a bend in that arm, so that'll collapse first and let this fold in and still pivot over, like not a lot but a little bit, which will kind of cushion and save the car. So yep, that's that. I'm gonna end this video early because we got a crunch time on some work that we gotta get done on the Supra. so that I can go drifting tomorrow with a couple people. I'm gonna be the only one with a bare chassis like that, but I've been so excited to do this video forever, and now it's happening. It's really cool. So I'm hoping for a good day tomorrow, good smoke footage, and then you can see like what I'm doing inside the car, my legs. It'll be cool. You'll see. All right, get ready for that video. Talk to you guys later.